What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, Blue Blood Sports TV, back at y'all with another one. So, Danny Jacobs absolutely destroys Jermall Charlo in an interview he did with Boxing Scene. He absolutely goes in on Jermall Charlo. He goes, I don't think he would take it because you've got to understand the proof is in the pudding. He says, before a press conference at Wednesday, Madison Square Garden, he talking about Jermall Charlo. He going to say, I tamed the lion. Danny Jacobs comes out and said, I tamed that lion, and you haven't heard anything about Danny Jacobs coming out his mouth since I tamed that lion. He says, he called me out, or he said a couple of things about me, and then once I retaliated, you heard no more. When's the last time you heard Jermall Charlo say something about Daniel Jacobs? Whereas before I tamed the lion, there was a whole bunch of bark in the jungle. Now the jungle is deserted with nothing but birds, nothing but giraffes and mermaids. And mermaids don't even live in the jungle. Jacobs jokingly referred to lions only, the mantra of Jermall Charlo and his twin brother, Jermall Charlo, the WBC super welterweight champion. Brooklyn's Danny Jacobs also alluded to confronting Jermall Charlo in the Barclays Center halfway on March 3rd. That's when he pressed Jermall Charlo in the hallway. When he said, I came at the right time, and Jermall Charlo, y'all remember that, right? He goes, you never heard anything after that, especially not a call out, Jacobs said. In fact, what you heard was him say, well, the Jacobs fight will come. It's not going to come now. It's going to come in the future. I'm not saying how far, but once my career is up, that fight is going to happen. Before my career is up, he meant to say. He said, so this is what Danny Jacobs said. You can't go from A to B like that. So that's that. Wow. Right. So then he says, he's considering himself one of the best, one of the most fed in the division. So y'all remember when before that Jermall Charlo was saying that, Danny Jacobs, he willing to fight Danny Jacobs. Jermall Charlo said Brooklyn is mine. Jermall and Jermall Charlo are from Houston, they from Texas, you know what I mean? But they fight a lot at the Barclays Center. Actually, their fight on December 22nd is at the Barclays Center. And I'm gonna push for and we need to push for that fight. Should Danny Jacobs be victorious Saturday versus Sergey Derevyanchenko? No disrespect to Sergey Derevyanchenko, but this is a fight that people want to see. Danny Jacobs versus Jermall Charlo. So y'all remember Jermall Charlo was saying he run Brooklyn and so on and so forth. Then Danny Jacobs seen him in the hallway and ran up on him. That's when Danny Jacobs said, oh, I came at the right time, and they had their little scuffle, right? And so now Danny Jacobs said, he said that he tamed that lion. If you don't understand, the mantra of the Charlo twins is lions only. You know what I mean? So now Danny Jacobs is saying, I tamed that lion. You know what I mean? You ain't heard nothing else from him since then. He goes, now this is another thing, Danny Jacobs. He went absolutely in. He said, but if Willie Monroe, talking about Jermall Charlo is fighting Willie Monroe December 22nd at the Barclays Center. This is what Danny Jacobs had to say about that. He said, but if Willie Monroe can truly be himself and do things that he wants to do and moves and gets that good feel, get the jab popping back and forth, I think it'll be a competitive fight. If Monroe can protect himself and protect that chin, I think it'll be interesting. It'll be an interesting fight, and the fans will still be able to gauge where Jermall Charlo is in the middleweight division. So it's not real bad for me. So it's not so he's saying the fight Jermall Charlo versus Willie Monroe is not really a bad fight for Jermall Charlo because it's still a measuring stick. He still favors Jermall Charlo to win, probably dominate Willie Monroe. But if Willie Monroe can put up a good fight, it's still a learning experience for Jermall Charlo. Is basically what Danny Jacobs had to say. So he says so it's not really a bad fight for me, but it's a fight where you're gonna claim that title as the best. So he's saying, you fighting Willie Monroe, but you're going to claim that you're the best or the most fed in the division fighting Willie Monroe? That don't get you the title. He said you're going to be like, come on now. Come on, you kidding me. This is what Danny Jacobs said. You can't claim that title if you fighting Willie Monroe, right? Then he goes on to say, the proof has been in the pudding, Jacobs said. If you scratch out Sergio Mora, this will be my 5th undefeated fighter that I'm fighting in a row. And that speaks volumes because all the guys that I've fought were good, undefeated guys with good skill. Hey, he says, hey, I'm claiming to be the best. In order to do that, you got to fight the best. You can't fight, and there's no disrespect to any fighter out there. You can't fight guys who've been knocked out before. You can't fight guys who have a losing record and claim to be number one guy and claim to be the number one guy in the division, or saying you avoided and all. No, you've got to show and tell. Wow. He said you can't be fighting guys with a losing record and been knocked out before and be claiming to be fed, avoided, and the best in the division. No, not having it. He said you got to show and tell. Put up or shut up is what Danny Jacobs said. Wow. So y'all heard it, man. You can find this article on boxerscene.com, right? He absolutely blasts Jermall Charlo, man. This is the fight we want to see, and I'm glad Danny Jacobs is talking like this because I was in fear that should these fighters be victorious and go to the zone, even my brother Danny Jacobs, you know, New York through and through, Brooklyn in the building, New York in the building, you know what I mean? And I was in fear that these fighters would take those titles, man, you know what I mean, and then go elsewhere, go to the zone. You know, because all the middleweight titles, should Danny Jacobs be victorious, will be on the zone. And I was in fear that if that's the case, then Jermall Charlo wouldn't get his shot. And I'm 100% happy that Danny Jacobs is talking like this, because then this should award us. I mean, you can't talk like this and then don't fight Jermall Charlo. Should you be victorious and Jermall Charlo call you out? Because now you fighting a little over a month before he fighting, because you fighting on the 27th, he fighting December 22nd. So I expect Danny Jacobs to be ringside December 22nd at the Barclays Center in Brooklyn to make that fight. We got to push for Danny Jacobs. Danny, you got to, yo, listen, I'm going to see Danny Jacobs. I'm going to ask for, he going to be ringside for that Jermall Charlo fight. Because like he said, we got to get the best fighting the best. You know, I won't knock him if he's trying to make a unification bout against Andrade or Canelo next. I don't knock that. But if you're going to talk like this about Jermall Charlo, then you got to give him a shot. And Jermall Charlo got to step up to the plate and take that fight. So Danny Jacobs, I'm expecting Danny Jacobs to be ringside at Jermall Charlo fight December 22nd. And I'm expecting that Jermall Charlo will get this message and he be ringside Saturday at Danny Jacobs fight to push for that fight. You know what I'm saying? But that's all I got for y'all, man. Danny Jacobs absolutely blasts Jermall Charlo, says that you ain't hear nothing from him since I tamed that lion, referring to the mantra of lions only from Jermall and Jermall Charlo. That's their mantra, you know what I'm saying? Lions only. He even got it tatted across his chest, lions only. So Danny Jacobs said, listen, you ain't hear nothing from him since I tamed that lion. He said the desert is deserted and you ain't hear nothing from him. The jungle's deserted. Now, he said he turned the jungle into a desert. It's deserted. That's all I got, man. Drop a comment in the comment section. Let me know what y'all think. Blue Blood Sports TV. Hate, like, comment, and subscribe. If you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the bell icon to get all new notification. Follow me on Instagram at Blue Blood Sports TV, all one word. Y'all already know what it is. Shouts out to the entire LDBC. Shouts out to New Media. Shouts out to Black Media Row. Make sure you like and share these videos. That's all I got. It's your boy Blue. Danny Jacobs blasts Jermall Charlo in the interview he does with Boxing Scene. Peace.